I call this October 3rd work session of the Oconee County Board of Education to order. First order of business, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Burgess?
Second.
Ms. Parrish, all in favor? Passes 5-0. First up on our agenda is Superintendent's Report. Dr. Branch.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, board members. You probably noticed first thing this afternoon that we do not have your microphones in front. We did have a weather-related issue with our source, if you will, and so we'll be updating that. We just discovered that as we were preparing for the meeting, and so I think our camera will pick up everything as desired, but we'll let you know that. A couple of things to report. Lots of things have happened since we last met. Very positive things for our school system. One thing I want to point out that occurred yesterday is that it was National Custodians Day, and so we want to make sure, and I know we put this out on social media. I know our leaders are celebrating those outstanding custodians in our building that are do wonderful things to make sure that our schools and classrooms are prepared each day. And I know our folks from HR would also like us to let folks know if you'd like to be part of the custodian team, we do have some outstanding opportunities still available out there. But we do want to say a word of thanks for our custodians. We also want to make sure the board's aware that this is National Principals Month. And so while we're working our way to 12 principals next year with the school, we have 11 world-class leaders that work in our schools each and every day and provide outstanding daily leadership. Not only during the day, but on the evening, on the weekends, lots of different opportunities there to have their impact. And as you know, never really take the principal's hat off. If they're in the grocery store, they're still, principal. If they're at the ballpark, they're still principal. And so we just appreciate the great leadership that all of our leaders provide. As I said, lots of great things going on in the school system. I want to thank the board members for participating in our celebration of our Oconee County Schools Teachers of the Year and celebrating naming Miss Abby Bishop the 2023 Oconee County School Teacher of the Year from Malcolm Bridge Elementary School. So I know that made Miss Haygood very, very happy, and we look forward to continuing to celebrate those teachers. This Thursday we have an opportunity with the Chamber of Commerce to have a Teacher of the Year breakfast that will be hosted at Malcolm Bridge Elementary. I believe that begins at 8 a.m. And so we'd like to invite everyone here to that event as well. And we'll acknowledge those Teachers of the Year in another arena with business leaders from our community. Also want to congratulate Collin Ferry Elementary for a ceremony we had a chance last week to celebrate the recertification of their STEM certification. And so Superintendent Woods was on hand, as were some board members and other dignitaries. And Superintendent Woods pointed out several times that I believe this is just one of 95 schools in the state that have STEM certification, according to the records that he shared with us, out of over 2,300 schools in our state. So I'd also point out that we have a STEAM school in Rocky Branch as well. So lots of great things going on there. We congratulate our friends at Collin Ferry for the hard work of being recertified. North Oconee and Oconee County High School are also named two of the top county high schools in Northeast Georgia for college preparedness and success by GreatSchools.org.com is a rating agency that many of us are aware about. So we want to congratulate our two high schools. Certainly that is something that we all strive for and talk a lot about, making sure that our students are prepared for success after school. At the end of last week, Oconee County Schools was also notified by the Georgia Department of Education that we ranked number 3 for SAT achievement in Georgia. And I know Dr. Stancil is going to talk more about that tonight. And finally, since we last met, we were named the number 1 county school system in Georgia by Niche, another rating agency, for the 8th out of the last 9 years in a row. So I want to congratulate all the leaders in the room, students, parents, and community members that have contributed to that. Just one last thing about upcoming events. I want to point out that we have an opportunity tomorrow night at Oconee County High School for a new era. We will begin our girls flag football, and our high schools are telling us they've seen quite a response in that. And so that game is a scrimmage against Athens Academy. I believe begins at 5:30 at Oconee County High School. So if you're interested in coming and checking that out, I'm sure it's going to be a good game, and the good guys will win. Do want to point out to the board that fall break for students is this Friday and Monday, so we will not have a board meeting next Monday. We will have that board meeting on October the 17th. Next week, your opportunity, however, is still a good one, and the chance to have a listening session at North Oconee for redistricting, and that'll begin Tuesday, October the 11th at 6 p.m. So lots of things going on in the district, and appreciate the support of all of our community members, leaders, and the board. Certainly, that concludes Superintendent's report, unless there are questions.
Thank you, Dr. Branch.
Yes, ma'am.
Next on the agenda is presentations and discussions. First, we have teaching and learning report, Dr. Susan Stansel. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. The October 2022 Teaching and Learning Report contains one item of information and only one action item for the October 17th Board of Education meeting. The item of information is an update on the 2022 SAT results. The first chart that you see illustrates that Oconee County Schools earned a mean SAT composite score of 1147, which is well above the state score of 1052 and the national mean score of 1028. OCS is ranked third in the state among county school systems and is ranked number 1 among all systems in Northeast Georgia. The second chart on page 2 of the T&L Board Report shows the number of OCS test takers from 2022. This number shows an increase for both high schools and Oconee County schools overall. The third chart in the report displays the rankings for the top 10 districts in the state. Congratulations to all our students, parents, and staff on these fantastic results. Our action item for the October 17th Board of Education meeting is Board Policy BCBI, Public Participation in Board Meetings. Board Policy BCBI, Public Participation in Board Meetings, has been revised to reflect the requirements in Senate Bill 588. This item was placed on the table for public review at the last board meeting, and no comments have been received at this time. The superintendent's recommendation is for the Board of Education to approve Board Policy BCBI, Public Participation in Board Meetings at the October 17th, 2022 board meeting. And that concludes my report, unless there are any questions.
Thank you. Next report is technology, Mr. Ryan White. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. The Oconee County Schools Division of Technology Services, October 3rd, 2022 Board of Education report contains 2 items of information and no action items for the October 10th, 2022 Board of Education meeting. The first item of information is an update on Canvas. With the end of first 9 weeks quickly approaching us this Friday, just want to give everyone an update on our implementation and where we're at with Canvas, which is our learning management system. Teachers were given early access in the spring, so that way they could have plenty of time to learn Canvas during the spring semester. We also provided barn days at the end of May where they could come to technology and we could help them with transitioning from It's Learning, our old LMS, to Canvas, our new LMS. During the summer, we also offered additional opportunities at Innovation Oconee. We also, when we did the new teacher orientation, we also offered additional trainings for new teachers as well that were new to Oconee. This fall, we've conducted pre-planning meetings with teachers, monthly trainings with grade levels or departments, one-on-one appointments with teachers, and we're going to offer additional opportunities this Friday during our PL Day. We're also really excited to have grade passback available to teachers, which means teachers can put a grade in Canvas, and technology uses the term auto-magically. It auto-magically goes to PowerSchool Gradebook, so they don't have to key in grades twice anymore. So no more duplicate entry. We also continue to support teachers through digital textbooks, resource integrations, weekly calls with Canvas. We have a close collaboration with teaching and learning to make sure that we're using the tools instructionally, common assessments, and we're supporting schools with staff and faculty courses as well. A few statistics for you on our Canvas usage. So far this school year, assignments have been accessed 51,370 times. 3,243 quizzes have been given. 1,861 discussions have been proctored, and over 300,000 total views of items in Canvas as a whole. So we are hitting the ground running with Canvas and using it to the greatest extent possible. The second item of information, because it's Cybersecurity Month, is a tool called BitSite. And the Georgia State Board of Education has approved BitSite as a tool for all Georgia school districts. This is a cybersecurity tool that will help districts identify risks and makes recommendations based on those findings. So they basically scan our network, they said you need to fix these items, that gives us a punch list to then go through and tells us what we need to fix. And it rates us on that, and we're in the top tier, which is where we want to be, but we're always looking to improve. So we're constantly checking it, seeing what can we do to get this much better. That concludes the Division of Technology Services report, unless there's any questions.
Mr. Burgess?
Right, you mentioned the capability to put the test scores in, have them automatically go in Power School.
That's correct.
Are there other enhancements that this new LMS gives us that we didn't have with the previous LMS?
One of the tighter integrations it has is with Power School. We are able to directly pull those classes into Canvas, whereas with It's Learning, our old program, we had to create all that by hand. It was manual when teachers' classes weren't showing up. We had to go back and resolve all that. With Canvas, if it's in Power School, it's going to show up in Canvas. So I would say that the data interoperability, the data flow is better with Canvas for sure.
And students are using their Chromebooks to access this LMS
Yes,
and navigate back and forth through the assignments and things like that.
yes, sir.
You know, we keep, this issue of Chromebooks keeps coming up, and Amy was asking a couple of questions the other night about it. I don't get the disconnect between the use of Chromebooks in the classroom and using our LMS to access all this different information and the confusion that's around that. It's almost as if the students aren't using the Chromebooks, they're not going to be able to use and gain the access and the enhanced capabilities that the LMS provides us. Am I missing something there, or is there something else?
We've got a lot of parent feedback from the different school councils where parents want a one-stop shop to go to find resources, to see assignments, to hear what's going on in their students' class. So that's another big draw to LMS as well.
Okay. And that capability is in this LMS that
That's correct.
parents can use. Okay.
And is it a requirement that teachers use that? 'Cause I know when we went to originally to It's Learning, when my daughter was in middle school, I was getting bombarded with all kind of different platforms. But now are they able just to use the campus?
What we're trying to do right now is give teachers a little bit of time to migrate things
That's what I
over this
thought.
semester.
Okay.
So January 1 is really when we want everybody to have things in Canvas, because they still have access to some things, whether it's in Google Drive or in other programs. That way they can have all their resources in one place.
And remind me what happened to It's Learning. It's not available, was no longer available, right?
It is no longer available in the U.S.
That's what I thought.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Anyone else? Thank you. And thank you for our screen.
Very well.
Next report is operations. Mr. Brad Rickinson, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. The Oconee County Schools Operations Division October Board of Education report contains 3 items of information and 1 action item for the October 17th, 2022 board meeting. First item of information is the energy report. The August energy report shows an on-trend increase in usage over July. As usual, we'd like to thank Steve Breinbaugh and his team for making efforts to control our energy consumption and keep our equipment running great. Second item of information is that we had the September lead custodial meeting. was held on Thursday, September the 8th, and was hosted by the team at Malcolm Bridge Elementary School. This month, we discussed the importance of proper labeling of cleaning products. Make sure that we don't have any mystery bottles and not know what's in them. Our custodial teams are to be commended for their rigorous work in ensuring that our schools are clean for health. Third item of information is our construction update. Last month, I asked for a short drought. We got it. We got it. It was a tremendous month. They've got so much work done. And the forecast is showing we're expecting 10 more days of good dry weather. Some of the milestones that they hit this past month is they finished pouring all the slabs on grade. They do have one elevated slab left, which is the second floor, the southern end of the building. You can see in the picture there. That's going to be poured on scheduled for the 18th. They've poured all the cover and gutter for the parking lots. And they're scheduled to come in and start doing parking lot work before the month's out. The football field construction is well underway, and we hope to have it grassed by the end of the month. And roofing is going to begin this week. So once we get that roof on, we'll start getting the building dry, and we won't be held hostage to the weather so much. So it's been a tremendous month. They've really gotten a lot of work done. Maybe I just needed to be out there on the wall. So, and then also, just for your information, the new ISC Instructional Support Center, we've got a submittal that we put together to go to the city of Watkinsville. It's going to go tomorrow. This was going to get us on the October the 19th agenda for their city council meeting. This is an information item for them, just so they're aware of what we're planning to build within the city limits. And this basically lays the groundwork for us to ask for the building permit once we're ready. Our action item for this month is an FY23 bus purchase. It's the superintendent's recommendation for the Board of Education to approve the purchase of 6 84-passenger buses from Peach State Freightliner. 4 of the buses will be delivered in March of '23, and the cost will be $158,989 per bus. 2 of the buses will be delivered in August of '23, and the cost is $167,855 per bus. And there's the big tabulation. And that will conclude our report unless you have any questions.
Are these replacement buses or are these new buses added to our fleet because of the new routes?
I'm not sure the answer to that.
Or maybe a little of both?
Mr. Peters?
It's a little both.
A little of both.
There's some for the new route, and then we do have some that are ready to surplus.
Will we need to purchase any more this year before the new middle school opens up, or will this get us in a position where you're ready for next year?
We have 5 more that we can purchase through bond money from the state when we're ready to purchase.
Oh, okay, thanks.
This is part of our normal bus replacement cycle that we try to do each year, 6 buses to both surplus some old and then add new as we need. So,
But this doesn't get us where we're gonna need to be for next year. This doesn't get our fleet big enough for next year when we're gonna add more routes yet, or does it?
I think our fleet is large enough to achieve that right now with the additional buses that we have, but we may be bringing some more further recommendations to continue to ensure that we have the surplus buses needed in case one breaks down, things of that nature.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Does that price is a little bit higher than typical? I know it's a bigger bus, but does that include fully spec'd out, so air conditioners, cameras, whatever else goes on?
Yes, sir, these meet our specifications.
And they're a little bit bigger. How much bigger are they than our typical buses?
Our typical buses are 78 passenger, and these are 84 passenger.
Does that just allow us to consolidate some routes, or what's the reason for going to a bigger bus?
It gives us the ability to handle larger routes and larger neighborhoods as they continue to develop in the county, and gives us some flexibility when we're developing our routes as well.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have our Associate Superintendent's Report. Welcome, Dr. Liddell.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. The Student Services Report contains 2 items of information and 0 action items for our October 17th Board of Education meeting. The first item of information is school choice. as you know, historically, we've allowed students to transfer to a school outside of their attendance zone, provided that there's space at that school and they provide their own transportation. I wanted to share with you our school choice timeline for this year. We would publish the school choice announcement on November 18th, 2022. At that time, we would also publish the application, the letter explaining how and when to submit that application, and the list of available schools. I'll remind you that as part of our redistricting proposal, we would have every school on that list of available schools due to the fact that redistricting would balance our schools out to the point creating space for students to be able to transfer to each of our 12 schools for next year. Those applications would be due no later than January 20th, 2023, and decision letters would be mailed no later than January 27th, 2023, and we continue to get feedback about that redistricting proposal, and as Dr. Branch mentioned, we look forward to hearing feedback from the public at our listening session on October 11th. The second item of information is our school nutrition update. I'm happy to report that when compared to school year 1920, our breakfast participation is up 1.45%, and our lunch participation is up 1.63%. This concludes the student services report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to move on, Ms. Argo, if it's okay with you, to our communications report. The communication report has one item of information, which is our monthly highlights video for September. So I'll ask Ms. to play that for us. As you can see, it was another very busy month in September, and that concludes the communications report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you. We do have a need to move into executive session and need a motion to do so.
I make a motion that the board will adjourn to executive session to discuss or deliberate upon personnel matters as described on the affidavit to be attached to the minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Parrish.
Second.
Mr. Bagley. All in favor? Passes 5-0.
Okay, board members, we'll take a few minutes to clear the room.